Wassup YouTube, PokePrimer here, primed and ready to deliver you a draft analysis for the Elite Battle League, which is a league where you draft mons below base 420. It is a tier-based draft where tier 3s and tier 4s are allowed to use EVLites available, but nothing else. And it's really, really cool. Under 420, you don't get to use these mons ever, so I'm really, really excited. I'm going to try to do this really quickly, because apparently my mic just doesn't feel like working today. It keeps cutting out for me for some reason. I'm really, really getting annoyed by it, so hopefully it will hold out for this video. The first mon we have is Poipole, Lavender the Poipole. Beast Boost is huge ability. This is why it's tier 1 mon. Besides the fact that it has base 420 stats, because they broke them up by stat total overall. Yeah, so great coverage on both the physical and special sides. Actually has the ability to be physical, unlike its evolved counterpart, Naganadel. It has the ability to be very, very viable as a physical mon down in this type of league. A lot of decent coverage, really, really good overall mon. A lot of sweeping potential with it, so could be a huge threat for our team. Next up, we have Nappy Angst, the Haunter, our first tier 2 mon and our first Z Crystal user. With its really high special attack stat and a speed that is higher than a lot of mons in this type of league, it has the potential to nuke a lot of really key threats to my team, as well as being able to just be an overall threat to all of my opponents. They all have to really, really prep hard to deal with Haunter because of the fact of how fast and strong it actually is. So really, really excited to have Haunter on the team. Can't wait to use it more. By the way, I forgot to mention I'm taking this team over after week 2. It is an 0-2 team, but I was able to make a few changes to it, and I think it has a lot of potential to do very, really well for us. Plus, I think I can, I think I've overall shown that I'm a fairly competent battler, so I think there's a good chance we could do well. Next up, we have Liability the Krokorok. Intimidate and Moxie are both amazing abilities for this Pokemon. Intimidate allows it to be bulkier and allow it to take some hits from other mons around this, from other mons in this type of league. It actually makes it a lot better, in my opinion, than some other mons in this league. It's also for our first Stealth Rock user, as well as having having access to Stab Knockoff, Moxie for sweeping potential late game. Just overall really threatening mon, really, really good to have on the team. Next up, we get into our tier 3 mons, which is where we start to be able to use EVLite, and we have Derp the Slowpoke, an EVLite regenerator mon for our team. This thing is extremely threatening. Y'all know what Slowbro and Slowking do. They like to spread status, they like to come in, eat hits, swap back out, gain all of that HP back. This thing is an absolute threat. With EVLite, this thing's going to be super hard for my opponents to break through. They're going to have to really, really work hard to do so. And I'm really, really actually looking forward to using these mons in particular. This mon in particular because it's fat, it's strong, and does a lot of good things. So that's our first tier 3 mon. The other tier 3 mon we have is Excalibur the Honedge. This is one that I actually considered dropping because it does have the ghost type overlapping with Haunter, but then again, at the same time, Haunter has the poison type overlap with Poipole, but I wasn't even considering that. So I do really, really want to use Excalibur. It can pursuit trap things and stuff like that. No Guard kind of hurts it because nothing's ever going to miss against it, which is kind of a pain, but we can work around that. We'll make it work somehow. It has Sword Stand setup potential. It can do a lot of different things. It's a very, very strong Pokemon overall, and I'm really, really happy I get a chance to use it. Can't wait to test it out. The next mon is our first tier 4, and it is the first change I made to the team. Originally, the team had Rockruff on it, and I didn't see, outside of being another Stealth Rocker, what Rockruff could really provide for the squad. So I decided to drop Rockruff for Basilisk, the Helioptile. Now, what Helioptile provides to the team is, first off, a fast electric type, which I feel is important to any kind of draft, no matter what it is. This is still a draft league, and you should still try to have the main tropes on the team. So far I have Hazard Setters, Bulky Water, etc., and a Ghost type. So right now I have my Ghost Immunity / Fast Electric type, which is really cool. Dry Skin is a fun ability to work with. So it gives me a Water Immunity as well, which is really, really great. Makes him a little weaker, makes him weaker to fire types, but that's not too big of a deal. Also, Solar Power. If my opponent has Sun access, I can actually bring Solar Power and maybe take advantage of that, which could be really, really fun to do if it actually works out. Really, really good special attack stat when it comes to mons of this level, and really, really good speed as well. It's really, really fast mon, so it can do a lot of good things for us. I think Helioptile has a lot of potential for our team. I call it Basilisk just because it just works. It's a working name. It's kind of alright, but yeah. So that is the first of our tier 4s. The other tier 4 mon we have, which I will probably use Eviolite on a decent amount, is Conehead the Pineco. Sturdy ability makes it really, really useful for removing / setting up hazards. This is a hazard remover, which is even better. So it does get rapid spin. I believe it also gets access to at least a majority of the hazards. Yeah, we get all 3 main hazards: spikes, rocks, and T-spikes, which is huge. So Pineco can really do a lot of good things for our team. Plus, with a base 65 attack against some of these mons, is actually really, really deadly. Can do a lot of real big damage, and I'm really looking forward to using it. I actually had Pineco in a Little Cup League a while ago, and it was a huge, huge threat to a lot of my opponents. It was a really, really big deal. So I'm hoping that that same threateningness can transfer here with a base 90 defense stat. Really looking forward to using that to my advantage. Now we get into my free picks, and the first one is a tier 3 Pokemon that is also going to be my second Z user, and that is Colonel the Torchic. Colonel the Torchic, yes sir, you see a Torchic on your screen. It does have access to Speed Boost, which is awesome, and there is the ability to pass 1 stat in this league, so I can in fact pass Speed. Yes, you are correct, I can pass Speed with Torchic. That is huge. So many mons on my team are a little bit slow, but hit really hard. So if I can pass Speed into something like Poipole, or if I can pass Speed into something like maybe Honedge, or Crocorock, or something along those lines, make sure I outspeed my opponent's team, and then be able to just nuke through the rest of it, that's huge. So I'm really, really looking forward to using that. Plus, having this thing as a Z user, there's a lot of actually really cool niche Z moves I can use with it. I'm not going to list any of them off because I don't want to reveal some of my cool little strats that I have for this cute little guy. But I'm really looking forward to using Torchic. This is actually going to be a lot of fun. The next 2 picks I have for my free picks are tier 2s. The first one was a member that was already on the team. And that is my boy Graceland, because he's kind of looking like an Elvis bird clone. Kind of loving it. Elvis, aka Graceland, aka Elvis, aka Staravia. Intimidate is a great ability for this, and actually might bring it a decent amount of times, because it actually does have a lot of potential to do some cool things with it. But Reckless is more than likely going to be the main ability used on it, because of the fact that this thing hits like a fucking truck, dude. Between Brave Bird and Double Edge, this thing is going to nuke all of the mons. All of the mons. I love it. This thing's super, super strong, super, super fast with base 80 speeds. Actually, the second, I believe it is the second fastest Pokemon on my team, which is really, really cool. It's right underneath. It's just a little bit underneath Haunter. So this thing is extremely fast, extremely hard hitting, and just a huge threat to deal with. Plus, defog option as well. This thing is super, super threatening, and I'm really excited to use it. So yeah. The next pick originally was a tier 3 Fremon, but I had extra points, so I was actually able to bump it up to a tier 2 Mon, and I looked at my team and I was like, I just need a fairy type. There's going to be some teams that have dragons on them. I know there's a Fracture in the league. I know there's a Gabite in the league. Teams that have dragons on them that I would like to be able to wall. at least to some extent. So I dropped the former Mudkip because I just didn't want another bulky water on my team. Slowpoke is just so much better overall. Mudkip was actually the other Z user that the old coach had, and I just didn't understand why. But we picked up Vermilion, the Floette, keeping the same nickname as on my typical competitive Florges. Vermilion is really, really good because it has amazing special defense stat. You really don't have to invest too much, especially in a league like this, with its SpDef, because it's just so strong in that department. So I'm really, really excited to have Vermilion here. It's super, super strong, super, super useful. Has a lot of potential to do some great things for us. So I'm really, really hyped to have Floette on the team. Provides me a Cleric, another potential. I believe it actually does get Defog as well in this generation. It doesn't, actually. It does not get Defog like its Florges counterpart. That is unfortunate, but whatever. We'll live with it. So regardless, I'm really, really happy with Floette. It's going to be a really cool fairy to have on the team. The last mon that we have was another swap that we made. Originally, it was Talo, and again, I just knew if I'm picking a flying type to bring into battle, I'm bringing my boy Staravia, because I feel like it's just going to do more damage overall than Talo ever would. Talo's like a tier 4 mon as well, so it's a lot weaker than Graceland is between like Reckless and all the other things. But like calculating everything out with between Guts and Reckless on Talo versus that, I just saw much of a better option to swap it out, and this team needed a grass type. I wanted to complete a Fire, Water, Grass core. I knew I couldn't complete a Fairy Dragon Steel, so I wanted to complete Fire, Water, Grass at least. And I saw this boy sitting here, and I'm like, I just can't pass it up. This is going to be so cool. We got one up the Shroomish boy. Effect Spore, plus the ability to run Eviolite, since this thing is a tier 4 mon. Makes this thing really cool because it has a 30% chance to pick up any status on something that makes contact, so poison, paralysis, sleep, etc. Could be really, really useful on the team, as well as having Poison Heal. So if I can either switch in on a Toxic with Poison Heal, or if I can just bring a Toxic Orb, Shroomish, that could be huge because this thing can do a lot of work. Quick Feet's also a kind of fun ability, kind of giving it like that free choice scarf by being poisoned or burned or something. Good 60 stats across its defenses. Its offensive stats aren't that great, but you don't draft it for its offensive stats in a league like this. You draft it for the fact that it's kind of bulky, has access to Leech Seed, has access to Spore, which is big. It can set up, potentially. You can do a lot of really fun things. Sub-Seed, Toxic Heal, Poison Heal, Shroomish. A lot of really cool options with this Pokemon. Plus it gets Drain Punch with all those like hands that it has. Like, look at its hands. Just look at his hands. Just look at his hands. You don't want to catch those hands. Shroomish is just a fun Pokemon. I'm really, really excited to have Shroomish on the team. It's just a fun Pokemon. I love Shroomish. It's one of my favorite like basic mons overall. So like, I just can't help it. I got myself a Shroomish. So that is the team, though. Going to be fun. I'm actually really looking forward to it. Gonna hopefully be putting up. I'm gonna be post-comming these battles, so you'll see the team builder and then the battle immediately afterwards. So that'll be cool to do. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe if you haven't already. And hopefully you guys enjoy this fun, different league idea. I'm actually really, really looking forward to getting into this league, and we're gonna take this 0-2 team and we're gonna take it to the top. That's the plan, guys. But till next time, though, I'm going to get out of here. Till next time, I'm PokePrimer, signing off.